Hello there, welcome to Dove Eyes with Chimekalu. It's great to be here once again. I'm always so excited to be here and I'm glad that you're out there with us. Today we have another wonderful episode and I'm excited about the events of this time. It happens to be the Valentine weekend and so love is in the air. Yes, at this time we're dealing with a lot of other things. I mean, the COVID virus is on the rampage. However, we will celebrate because life, we are alive and we're well. And so we will celebrate because that's what God expects of us at this time. We're going to be talking about love and what it really is all about and try and express it in one way or the other today on the show. Let's talk about love. What is it? How do we express it? What should we expect from it? And all that. Just, find a way of expressing love to your spouse, to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend, to your neighbor, to your friends, to your siblings. Let's just do love today, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy the show today. So sit tight and enjoy all that we have for you today, okay? Please don't go away. Okay, so let's talk about love today, all right? And so let's start with the definition of love. What is this love all about anyway? When we say love, what does love really mean? The term love is used so loosely these days. So a guy meets a girl, he finds her sexually attractive, he says, I love you. But really, what is he saying? Okay, you meet somebody, you like him very much or you like her very much, and the way you feel you should express it is saying, I love you. But is that really where you are at? Is that really what you are saying? And the real problem is with the word love, all right, and the English language in which we speak. The truth is that in the Greek language, love is expressed in many ways. There are different ways of expressing this word love, and I'm going to talk about three. One is eros. Eros is sexual love. You are just generally finding that person sexually attractive. And so because you find the person sexually attractive, the way you speak it in English is I love you. But the word there is really eros. It's about your sexuality connecting with this other person because you find that person sexually attractive. So instead of saying I love you, what you should be saying is I eros you, It's different from love, all right? Very different from the love when you say love. Because when you say love in its real essence, people understand differently what you're trying to say. Remember, all that's happening to you that you're finding that person sexually attractive, all right? Now, there's another type of love, the type we call phileo. That one is friendship love, all right? It's the love between friends. When you say someone is your bestie, that what you're feeling for that person is filial love. It is love too, but it's a different kind of love. It is not eros, which is why you don't feel like sleeping with your bestie, even if the person is of the opposite sex or whatever, However, you feel a certain camaraderie with this person that makes that person really special to you. That is called phileo. It's a friendship kind of love. And the Greek language has a word for it, but English doesn't. So we just say love again. All right, so I love my husband, I love my children, I love my best friend. It's the same word I'm using, but what I feel for the three of them, for the three sets of people, is totally different. So love is, different when it's a filial kind of love. It's a friendship love where you look out for another person and you love to be in the space of that person. All right, now that's another type of love. Now the third type I'm going to be talking about is the God kind of love called agape love. All right, now that love is a value placing love. You love that person despite that person. And that's why it's a God kind of love. That's the way God loves us. Okay, when the word of God says he loves us so much that he gave us his son, what he's saying is that he looked beyond us and our frailties and our unfaithfulness, all the things that are not good about us, and decided to love us anyway. Okay, so when we come together in the place where we now want to create a family, get married, and start to think beyond just being friends, what I believe that people should be feeling towards each other is the three types of love. They should be in operation at the same time, all right? You should find the person you are with sexually attractive. If you're not married, I do not encourage, because the word of God doesn't, you culminating this relationship into a sexual one until you get married. However, you should find the person sexually attractive. Then you should also have a filial kind of love with that person, because you find that person, being in that person's space, exciting. You like being with this person. You just enjoy being with this person, and the person's values and yours click, the person's life and yours agree, the person's way of doing things excites you, and you excite that person as well. You should also have that kind of love, a friendship type of love where you are friends. You can talk about anything, you can gist, you can gossip, quote and unquote. You can just be together and not have to look at each other, not have to look, you be suspicious of each other, but you just have a friendship type of love. And then, of course, you have the God kind of love. That is the love that sees you through the bad times, when those times hit, okay? Where God, you love this person despite themselves, all right? Now, what I've just tried to do is describe love and what it entails, all right? And these are the 3 types of love that make up that word when we say, I love you. That's what you're really saying. I find you attractive, I like you, and I love you despite you. I like you despite yourself. And so the big question is, can you really love another person when you don't love yourself? And that's another big problem with this thing called love. People attempt to love other people when they do not really love and truly like themselves, okay? When you have self-esteem problems, when you're looking at everything about you that is not right, and you focus on those things, and make them issues, then you have a self-love problem. And if you have a self-love problem, you really cannot love another person. So your self-esteem is suffering, you cannot love another person when you have self-esteem issues. When you are, when you're still thinking about something that hit you in the past, and you're bringing it into your present and holding yourself accountable and holding yourself responsible for something that happened in the past, you're not loving yourself. When you're looking at all the flaws in your body, you're either too fat or too tall or too thin or too short or too fair or too dark, or or your hair is long or is short. All those things make you depreciate yourself in your eye. And so when you have self-depreciated by yourself, you have already put yourself down. You don't love yourself enough. There is no way that you can love another person, all right? When some issue, whatever it is that makes you think less of yourself, you compare yourself to other people and you think less of yourself, that is already you bringing yourself down and not loving yourself enough. And when you don't love yourself enough and you carry that into a relationship, what will happen? It will clog that relationship. It will become a baggage for that relationship, and you will not be able to love another person. So the very first and most important thing about love is that you must love yourself. You must come to terms with who you are. Your good sides, your bad sides, your character flaws, your physical flaws, the things that are excellent about yourself and the things that are not. You must come to terms with who you are. You must love and appreciate yourself. You must find yourself attractive, you must like yourself, and you must also be able to live with yourself despite your flaws. Those are very important. Self-love is important. Is it selfish? You can say it is, but this kind of selfishness is critical for you to be able to love effectively in a relationship with somebody. So this is Valentine period, and we're talking about love, and we're trying to bring out the goodness of love and allow love to thrive in the air despite all the things that are going on around us. However, if you do not love yourself, you are going to find it very difficult to love the next person. Now, one of the reasons why we have so many relationships and marriages and families that are suffering is because people lack self-love. You don't appreciate yourself enough, and so you enter a relationship where you are still not appreciated enough. And so you begin to complain and you begin to have all those things that happen in families that are not working. So at this point in time, first thing you must begin to address is, especially if you're not yet in a relationship or in a marriage relationship, you must begin to appreciate yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, and tell yourself, I'm good enough. Tell yourself, I'm lovable. Tell yourself, I love myself. I like who I am. I like the person that I am. And what you don't like about yourself, do the things you can to change them if you can. All right, even the physical things, I can't make myself taller. If I could, I would have done that a long time ago. I cannot make myself taller, so I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm short. I'm small size. I'm not as tall as I would have wanted. However, the other things that I could do something about, if you're the kind of person who finds it difficult to talk in public, you can do something about that and learn how to speak in public. If you're the kind of person who has any challenges at all, you can do something about those things. Character flaws, you can do something about. Physical flaws, you cannot do anything about. You can't make your breasts much bigger, except you do surgery, which is an extreme thing. But if you want to do that, you can. It's up to you to do that if you can. It is necessary, though, for you to love yourself. Absolutely necessary before you can love another person. Okay? So, answer to the question, is it possible for you to love another person when you don't really love yourself? The answer is a big no. You can't. So, endeavor to make it something that is important to you to love yourself. Okay, so we have been talking about love and love from different ramifications. What does it mean? And how do you begin to love other people when you haven't loved yourself? So you need to love yourself, okay? However, when and sometimes love goes sour, it's not going the way you want. How do we ensure that we can make it go right, and make it sweet, all right? One of the things I always say is that love is not blind. People say love is blind. Love is not totally emotional. You have to be able to think about it. You have to be able to make decisions around it so that you can get the best out of love, okay? So, to get it right, first, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, it will become an issue. And as you love, don't allow the things you don't like about yourself, the things that are not necessarily the best about yourself, become issues to you. Because if they do, they will ultimately define who you are, and that will impact on love in your life, all right? Then secondly, you need to define your expectations, from love, and communicate those expectations loud and clear. You really cannot expect another person to love you, and understand how to love you when you have not told that person what you want from him or her. So you must communicate, you must communicate your expectations of any relationship you are in. So that's why I said love is not blind. Love is, you have to think. And so you need to be able to communicate your expectations because you understand them yourself. If you don't understand them, you don't know what your expectations are, then you cannot communicate them. But you need to know them, understand them, own them, and then express them. Communicate them loud and clear to this person you are with so that you can get what you want, all right? Another thing you must be able to do is also communicate what you are willing to bring to the table. What you're willing to bring to the table in a relationship such that the person you are with doesn't expect things that you have not promised, okay? You have to communicate what you are bringing to the table. What is it that you are willing to give of yourself in this love relationship you're about to get into or you are in already? Now, when you're able to communicate that what you're able to give or what you want to give, the other person doesn't expect more than you have communicated. And so his expectations or her expectations are also based on clearly understood conversations, all right? So once those conversations have taken place, what am I expecting? What am I giving? What am I willing to give? It becomes a lot easier to have a relationship with someone like that. Now, relationships are not cast in gold, so you can't always predict what would happen in a relationship, because sometimes what you're expecting and what you have communicated that you can give might not be the requirements of a relationship depending on the season in the relationship. However, if you have been faithful in giving what you communicated and you have received what you expected in a relationship and there are surprises, what would happen is that it will not be very difficult for you to make adjustments. So, and that's what being in a relationship is all about, being able to effectively communicate yourselves and tell each other, what do I want? What am I expecting? What am I giving? What am I bringing? What am I giving? As you keep having those conversations around all the issues of life that can happen in a marriage situation, you find that, or in a relationship situation, you find that relationship will probably be a more loving relationship than the average one that you see around. The truth is that love is a give and take. You take and you give. Love doesn't happen in isolation. You can't keep giving because you get tired of giving. You also must get. And you can't keep receiving because the person who gives will also get tired of giving. So there must be that give and take all the time for love to be successful, okay? For love to work, for Valentine to be sweet, okay? So love is a good thing, but if we don't do it right, it hurts. It need not hurt if we just do the right thing. Now we're going to talk to those who maybe something has gone wrong. Love has already started going south and it is not sweet. It's no longer that place where you are enjoying it and you're asking yourself, what do I need to do? Okay, now this one is going to be an interesting part because we are going to ask you to do something, all right? And it's based on a movie I watched called Fireproof, where there were 40 days, all right, in that movie. A couple that were having problems and they had to go through 40 days. By the time they went through the 40 days of things that they had to do, towards each other, their relationship found its way back. And it's like a story that it's a story that normally trends on social media, where there's this guy who felt, I'm going to marry someone else. And his wife said to him, okay, I don't have a problem, but for 30 days, every morning, just carry me from upstairs to the threshold and then go to work. And by the time they'd done it for 30 days, the guy was back in love with his wife. So it's something similar, all right? And so what is the dare? The first dare is that you spend a whole day with your spouse and don't complain about anything about them. Even if they do something wrong, overlook it. Just one day. Try as much as possible to be patient, kind, loving, and do not complain. Even if the person does something wrong, just try and overlook them and just love them for just that first day. That's your first dare. Can you do this for me? And sustain it. And then take all the other days for the remaining 40 days for the remaining 40 days. If you go through this exercise from day 1 to day 40 and not miss out any, as difficult as they may be, in a time when your spouse or your girlfriend are no longer on very good terms, you'll be surprised what will happen. It will rekindle that love that you used to have for each other. Okay? The Bible talks, the word of God in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 13 talks about love and says, love never fails. If you continue to do the things that you're supposed to do to sustain love in your relationship, despite what the other person is doing, it will ultimately conquer. Because God is love. And when you bring love into your situation, you bring God into the situation. And so I just want to encourage you to try again. That's really what this is about. Try again. And we have given you the movie Fireproof. Make sure you watch it. And then put yourself through the 40, days, and try again to bring your relationship back to life. Things can only get better when you try. And so I want to encourage you to try. Okay? Don't give up on yourselves. Try again. And when you try again, I can assure you that it can get back together. All you have to do is what? Try. Okay, we've come a long way talking about this love. Love is a good thing. Love is a sweet thing. Love makes you smile, But if you don't do it right, it hurts. And so we need to do it right so that it doesn't hurt, okay? And so we're coming to the end of the show. But before we go, I must tell you that God himself, like I said before, is love. And God expresses his love to us in that he gave us his son. That if we believe in him, we'll be fine. All right? So what we need to do is put our trust in him. And then we can love like he loves. In the world today, this is a time when God's love is totally needed in our world. People are hurting, people are in pain, people are losing loved ones, people are losing their jobs, people are losing the things that they hold dear. People are losing everything. And so we need to show that love all over the place. And so we need to recognize it, accept it, embrace it, and then share it. All right? Give of ourselves, give of our substance, give of our time, give of our resources. Just be giving of that love that God has given us, because it's a season where we really must show love. There's too much pain around for us not to. All right, let's take responsibility and just begin to love the world around us, okay? And on that note, I really want to wish you all a very, very, very happy Valentine. I'm hoping and trusting that it won't be a lonely one for you, not because you are with people or with someone, but because you are content in yourself and you are happy with yourself, okay? If you have someone with you, good, all well and good. But if you don't, that's no reason to enter into depression. That's just another reason to begin to love yourself some more, okay? Loving yourself is critical, because when you're alone, you should be happy. If you're not happy when you're alone, then you are not doing the right thing. So love yourself, be happy, celebrate love, whether you're with someone or not. Have a good time this Valentine, all right? I'll be here again same time next week, but remember to join us on all our social media platforms. On Twitter, we're Advice with Chinwe Kalu. On Facebook, we're Advice with Chinwe Kalu. On Instagram, we're Advice with Chinwe. Join us, join our conversations as we keep talking. Like us, follow us, and even subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I'm sure that you'll have a good time talking about your relationships and making them better, improving your lot in terms of your family and everyone in the family thriving. I'll be here again same time next week. Bye-bye.